Welcome to the 10-Minute Treasurer. My name's Jeff Pospisil, and I heard about this accounting software called PcMars, and it's farm accounting software, but I've heard of churches using it and they swear by it. So what I wanted to do, this is not a how-to video. This is me just basically almost like an unboxing video of me downloading the free trial for PcMars and just doing the very quickest look around and setup of it. All right, so here I am on the PcMars website, and they make it pretty easy to see that you can get a free software download. So you just go ahead and, by the way, the one thing that had me concerned a little bit is that this is accounting software made by farmers for farmers. So how well does it really fit churches? So if you click on this, you will actually have to click on it. And then it says you can get a free use. They will allow up to 50 entries. So 50 transactions is what I'm guessing. And then you have to start paying for it. And it's $75 a year. There's a little add-on if you want advanced payroll. I don't know what that means. Accounts receivable, accounts payable. So all those things are nice to look into further. So there's a download here. So if you click that and then a download here, that'll get it downloaded to your computer. One of the things I want to also show you. So, I mean, if I was going to want to know more, under support, they have how-to videos. And they have quite a few of these videos here. So I would consider looking at that before I buy. I might want to just look and see, what does this exactly look like. The other thing I might want to do is there are these instructional booklets, and that's going to be a lot more informative than this video. This video is really just giving you a quick taste of what this can offer. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go to my downloads. I did download it already, and I'm going to go ahead and install it. The installation process is pretty easy, but there are a lot of these things where you have to accept the terms and hit next and hit next, and this keeps going. So I'm going to pause it right now because I think it takes about 5 minutes for everything to go ahead and install, because what they're going to do is they're also going to ask for the installation of Microsoft SQL Server. It's safe to do it. Go ahead. It's a Microsoft process. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, one of my concerns would be is, let's say I had an Apple computer. Will that work on this? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause. And when I'm done, I will show you what it looks like. All right, so I'm in the last little bit of setup. It actually didn't take too long. It took about 2 minutes or so. Quite a bit of clicking next and agreeing to stuff. It does say you might want to restart it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish, and I downloaded both that setup file, which is that 3.01, and the update file. And I'm going to go ahead and run that real quick. And that'll be a lot quicker now. So again, I accept and hit next, and this will just take a fraction of a second. So then you're going to end up with an icon on your screen, just like this, PcMars. And this is kind of fun. I don't think it'll come through in my audio, but when you open it up for the first time, by the way, first of all, it's an Iowa-based business. It's unregistered right now because I haven't paid for it, but it makes these sound effects like animals. So I think that's really cool. So they're going to ask me to go ahead and fill out my registration information. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I'm going to pause. All right, I have everything filled in and everything looks good. They asked, do you want to, do you have a previous copy? I don't. Do you want to include sample data? You're going to see only these Iowa codes. So those, and Illinois and Minnesota. So those are farm codes. So I don't need that. I'm going to hit OK. So I've already registered, but now what you need to do is open or create a new set of books. So it looks like you have to create maybe a new set of books for each year. I'm not totally for sure on that. because I don't think if I actually, I did open up a set of books. So this is interesting. I did set up one earlier just to try it out. And I'm going to go ahead and just open that one because it'll give me a head. Well, pay later. It's going to warn me if I wanted to pay later. Actually, I think I want to set up a new set of books. So I'm going to close this set of books because I want you to see what it looks like. Create new set of books. Create from scratch. So I created a fake church, and it was First Methodist Church of Mitchell. And so I'm just going to call it FMC Mitchell. All right, maybe I'll 2024. No, it won't let me do that. FMC Church or FM Church. Calendar 2024. And they're going to ask me for my contact stuff. I can copy that from the registration. And here was the thing that sold me on even going any further with this is that there is church codes already there. So they're talking about your chart of accounts, and there isn't a default set of church accounts, and you can make adjustments to this, but I really thought that was pretty good. So they're going to ask you for if you want to do it cash or accrual. Most churches are actually cash based, so that's cool. And then if you want these other features, and again, I wouldn't buy the extra features unless I really know what I'm doing. And they're going to say, hey, you got only 50 transactions, but you can go ahead and do the pay later. So while it's setting up, there's a number of things that I noticed. So let me see what I can do. See, is it still working? Or is it? All right, it seems like I might be locked up. Open set of books. Can I delete this one? I wish it would just let me delete that one, but it won't. So I'm going to go back into this one. Pay later. Okay. I don't know what happened. There was some kind of glitch. I didn't do the restart. You're supposed to do the restart. So the business information, they're asking about, okay, what is these department codes? Those will make more sense later. I do have profit centers too. I don't know if I want to use profit centers. I do want to use departments, but I want to call but okay, let me go ahead and go to additional. You probably want to enter in maybe your tax year. You might, but here's the main thing I wanted to say is for me, for most churches, you might have committees instead of departments. So I'm just going to go committee is what I want to use, and use committee funds. I don't know if I want to use committee funds or not. I do want to enable budgeting. I don't know. I don't know enough about any of these. I do like that there's different coloring for things, but I just don't know enough about would I want to use this? Maybe, maybe not. So again, this is not a tutorial. This is me just looking at stuff and trying to figure things out. Save. I'm going to save it. Yes. And so then when I look at this, I want to set up my committee codes. So it already changed that. And if I want to add a new one, so one of the things that I would think about if I was a church is let's make it active. Trustees, for example. Trustees. So I would set up all my different committees here. Finance. Oh, what happened to that one? Finance committee. Add new. I still don't know what happened to that one. Okay. Worship committee. Man, it feels like I got way too many T's in there. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to activate all these ones. I thought that one said Jen. All right. I'm just going to save this. Why won't it let me enter anything in here? Can I delete it? In black can be. All right, I'm going to close this. Yeah, save it. Close it. No, don't save it. I want to save my issues. There it is. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because I didn't restart. I didn't have this time. So when I did this the very first time, I didn't have this kind of issue. So vendor list. So that is not only the people that you pay, but it would be also your people that donate too, if you wanted to keep donor records. So Bob Smith, Smill, you get what you get. I'm trying to do this quick. So there's not a separate line for city, state, and zip. So I would do Mitchell, South Dakota, 57301. And now I can go ahead and add a new and Bill Smith this time. Mitchell, South Dakota, 57301. And let's go ahead and add one more. Maybe it's somebody that I pay, and I'm going to pay myself. And you can see there's a lot more things you can actually add in there that I'm not right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save and close. So that was a list of vendors as well as a list of members that give. I don't know if there's an easy way to just import this. I kind of don't see it, but again, I haven't explored all this. Man, I'm getting caught up on my words. The other thing that I did was I looked through the account codes. You should probably do that right away. That's your chart of accounts. So this part doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now to me. This is your accounts and assets, liabilities. Liabilities make sense. These ones, you can see that the bank accounts aren't here. I'll show you where those are later. Here is your regular account code. So this is income, regular offering, care offering. You see hour of sharing, which kind of sounds Methodist. Memorials, these kinds of things. You can add a default committee if you wanted to some of these. You can uncheck them. You can change the name. So what, maybe I wanted to say this is college endowment earnings. I could go ahead and change it to whatever I wanted if that was my thing to do. Expenses, same kind of deal. You're going to see a lot of different expenses here. They have a number of them checked. And those ones that are checked are the ones that you're able to use. So they say active. And then there's these non-church ones. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Set up bank and asset accounts. So here would be the interesting thing. So I might want to change this to my church name. So let's just say this is my bank account name. So FMB checking. And if I know what the balance is when I'm starting, maybe that's what it is. And beginning balance override. Will that let me do that? I don't want to do that anyway. Okay. I don't know enough to do that or not do that. So I suppose that would be what I would do. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and recalculate. Okay. And the last thing I want to look at is payroll setup. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a pastor maybe. So Arlen Coulter, 1, 2, 3, 4, Mitchell, South Dakota, 57301. And then I can have a hire date. I'm just going to hire them as a little bit ago, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whether they're active or not, what committee they go to, what is their account code. I like that it goes right to pastor salary, by the way. They don't use profit centers. I don't know what profit centers are. It's probably a different way of breaking things down. So it might not be a bad idea. State of employment. Let's go ahead and put in South Dakota. How often are they paid? Semi-monthly. Salaried. I'm going to put in, I'll just put in, well, I'll give $2,000 per pay period. Let's do it. Let's do 1,000. Arlen's doing this on the side. Not subject to federal employment or state unemployment when in South Dakota. Federal withholding. So this is the part that I was most concerned about. I was like, what do we do with this? The advanced payroll, I don't know exactly what it would be like, but I want to choose no FICA for a pastor. Married, and that all looks good. Then there's, if I wanted to withhold something, so if I asked the pastor, do you want anything withheld for payroll taxes or for federal income tax? Right here. Then there's the pension withholding. And what I found out is I would just plug in the calculated number right here. So let's just say it's 125. And then if there's other withholdings, I would go ahead and you'd have to document what that's for. But maybe it's for health insurance or dental insurance, and you have a little extra withholding. That's the pastor share. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save and close it. So now let me show you what it looks like to actually record transactions. So let's go ahead and do a deposit first. So let's say we have our Sunday offering. We deposited it in the bank on the 3rd, and the amount is 3214. And I'm just going to write Sunday offering. And then here's where you would go ahead and pull up your members, which again show up as vendors. Not sure why that is, but it works for me. The code offering, I just started typing and I could just pick code 300, and that was our 214. If there's nothing else in there, I would just leave it. Then Bob also gave, they give you an error message if you forget that. Bob gave 2,500, and you can see right here, it's already telling me I got 500 more to go. And let's say Jeff, kind of wish it would fill that in automatically for me, gave 500. And so everything balances out and it looks good. So I'm going to hit save. And it updated my bank balance too right away, which is cool. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And now transactions. So let's say I had a expense I had to do. So let's pay with check 1234. I'm going to pay me. And I'm going to pay me on the 6th, $500. The good guy tax. And what code do I want to give it to? I will give it to, I don't know. I'll give it to the national office and $500 because that's the amount left, and dues. All right. And if this was a recurring one, it looks like I could hit a recurring thing or I could reuse it. I'm going to just hit that and see what it looks like. Name of recurring. So it looks like I could set it up to automatically make this entry every month if it was the same amount every month. So but anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And you saw it deducted from the bank account. And the last thing I want to do is run a paycheck. There are journal entries and other things. Here's those recurring accounts. It looks like I could do a bank rec, by the way. Paycheck. Because this is one of my big concerns. So it updated the check number, by the way. And I'm going to pay, we only have one employee set up. So Pastor Arlen set up. And I'm going to pay Arlen. I just tabbed over and it brought this up. So $1,000, and it looks like everything worked out well. The pension withholding, the health insurance withholding. I wish they'd let you change that amount or change that title. Maybe there is, or maybe you have to get the advanced payroll, but all that looks good to me. If it was a lay employee, there would be some calculation. I don't know where you go to enter in a W-4 or any of that kind of stuff. So maybe you have to calculate that manually on the side. I don't know enough. So that's what I'm going to say. I don't know enough. And here's what it does for the accounting entries. And this is interesting that this is coded to expense, pastor salary, but I really wouldn't want that to decrease my pastor salary because but I have it set up as a cash. Okay, so I have this set up as a cash basis. I'm just trying to think through this in my own head. Normally what I would like this to do, I'm used to accrual. I would have set that up normally as a liability, but I guess I understand why we're in a cash basis. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. We posted everything, by the way, to this general committee. But you could have done it with any of the other committees, and it reduced my balance by 1,400 by that amount, $800. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. And now here was the thing that I was curious on is what do some of the reports look like? Looks like, by the way, I just like a check register too. Here's the check register. It'll let me see everything. I'm just going to hit and it's just going to show all the transactions that were made. So I kind of think that's cool. Yeah, I do think that's kind of cool. It shows that deposit is deposit 1, but it doesn't show everybody in that deposit. All right, I'm going to look at the June, and I could pick a specific committee, or I could just leave that blank and it'll show it for everything. All right, let's go ahead and preview that. And hopefully that shows up all right. You can see my offering and my total income for June, as well as the year to date. And then my expenses. You're going to see the national office, as well as the pastor's salary. And this does show a lot of extra. And I don't know how to set up a budget or anything like that yet. Yeah, I don't know enough about that. I'm wondering how I could see my detail for a deposits. So that would be another thing that I'd want to check out is, okay, let me see how much everybody's paying me if I wanted to do giving statements. So that would be one of those questions that I would have. All right. I think that's where I'm going to quit for now. Overall, very impressed. Very impressed. This is a little bit awkward for me because I'm not used to it, but it seems fairly intuitive. Not 100%, but it is fairly intuitive. And especially if I spent any time watching the instructional videos, any time looking through the manual, that would probably be a big, big bonus. So $75 for a year. Yeah, I would shell out for that if this was me, and yeah, and I would probably consider using it for my farm as well, maybe. So, all right, I am impressed. By the way, I'm impressed that they did do some stuff to make it a little bit easier for churches. That some stuff is already set up. I like that. I'm not sure how the funds work. I'm not sure about how a lot of this works, but it looks like, for doing a deposit, for tracking offerings, for paying your pastor and other people, that this is going to work. I would be curious about if I was really wanting to make a decision, I'd watch some of those videos and see exactly what the capabilities are. But overall, impressed. And for $75 for a year, I would totally consider this myself. So I think it's kind of fun. And anyway, that's my recommendation. I hope you like this. And if you did, like, subscribe, share, and God bless you.